And hello to all my Aquarius friends. I'd like to welcome you in. My name is Scott Sagent, and today I'll be doing your free psychic tarot reading for February 2023. Now today they've dialed up for my great Aquarians a specific corner spread. It's going to be a love spread. I know last month we did a work-based spread all about work and business and enterprise, and today they want to focus on that love corner, guys. We're going to set it up in the storyline format. It allows me to be very accurate because it's like a scatter shot across the entire sign of Aquarius. We're going to be telling different stories for different Aquariuses and different love situations, and love is a big corner too of your life. It's not just about finding love, it's about family and your loved ones. Anybody close to your heart can come in on these readings, so it's going to be interesting to see what we got there. And in the storyline spread, like I said, it's that wide net, and we're going to find a story in here that is right for you. There, you may have multiple stories in here that resonate with you. I've had people tell me that's the case quite a bit. But at the same time, at the end of the day, we're looking for that one, guys. We're looking for that one home run that is just right for you, and we're going to find it here today. And they've asked that I conclude your reading with no extra at the end. So when that happens, usually they just want us to focus on the main spread, or it's just because the spread is going to be so large that there will be no time for extras. So we're going to see which is the case. Also going to conclude your reading with the rune stone. So interesting things lie ahead, and that's going to tie this nice little bow around this project we call February, guys. So let's get started right now. The cards are already shuffled. I do that ahead of time to save us all a bunch of time. I'm going to bring you in right now so you can watch, and I like to share my table with you guys and show you what's going on. So we're going to put this on right here. Maybe. There it goes. And we are on and recording. All right, Aquarius, these are my ritual cuts, basically cutting each deck into thirds, putting them back together in a separate order. That satisfies the ritual aspect of tarot. Same procedure for personal private reading, so it's just like you're here with me now. And then we're ready to go. The storyline spread starts with 5 cards. These are your base core 5 cards, and I expand out from there where I need to go. I also need to tell you, this deck is known for making very large storylines because storylines are based on facings, and these usually face very much center. So that doesn't help as far as closing off the story. So here are your first 5 cards, and that is actually going to be our end. So this is actually going to be a shorter setup, at least how it starts. It may move around a little bit, and I know that because this guy is facing this way, even though it's kind of like, he's really facing kind of diagonal, but it's more left than right. So that's going to close us off just like that. So Spirit is giving me the stop order, so these are your main cards. The inverts are only 2, not enough to matter right now. We do have a lot of people coming up. We have person here. And, well, let's get the pairings together first to see what story goes where. It's going to look like this, guys. So we're looking at 3 different stories, 3 different love situations and dynamics for my great Aquariuses. Now, let me get some more cards. This is where the table sometimes does get full. It doesn't look like we're going to get too crazy with it here because we don't have any major arcana cards. So this card just gets 1. Well, it's going to get... It's going to get 1 more because I pulled a major on that one. So that's going to go like this. Got 2 people here. I need to verify that they're people or we're using the energetic definition because tarot does both of those. This one is just the energy, but we're going to leave it there to talk about it. Same with this one. Also the energy. So they are not actually discussing people directly. And then over here we got the Queen. Let's see if that's the same situation, and it is. So we're using the energetic definition of the Queen. That may be off camera, but I'll move it around to show you guys in just a moment. And that's actually all the card work I need there. Check the inverts individually by story. I think our inverts are still good. They are. So the last thing that I need, guys, before we get started is just your Angel Oracle card. And every story gets one of those. And then it's just a matter of getting it on the camera so you can see it as well. So I'm going to take this off and make sure you guys can see everything. We're going to have story number 1 right here, guys. Moving to story 2 over here. And we're going to wrap up with story 3. This is going to be the largest story of the group. Save that one for last. Let's get to work, guys. Let's talk about that love stuff in February. What a great month for love. In a bunch of different ways, too, because I got that gemstone to reveal to you guys when we do your moon cycle, so you're going to want to see that one. That's a love-based gemstone too. It actually brings love into all the chakras. Very love-themed. I did that for a reason. Let's get moving, guys. Story 1. Story number 1. This is a challenging love dynamic. if you are going through something that is a challenging love situation, you could very much be with me here in story 1. If you know your love situation is okay, your family's okay, your friends are okay, this is probably not your story. But bear with me, guys, because we got 2 more to go. But for the ones that are having a challenging time with it right now, they show a lot of the perception is a little off. You guys are looking at the glasses that have spilt instead of the glasses that you still have. And in fact, a lot of you feel like they've all spilt. You know what? Hey, just like pictured in the card, they're all just spilt. And you lost everything maybe. Or at least it feels that way in your heart. And you can feel that way just from losing a close loved one to you. Like a death or something like that. That feels like you lost everything. And it's a perception-based thing. So what Spirit is calling for here when you feel this way is that you still have rewards. They're reminding you that all you have to do is look behind you. Look away from the situation and look behind you and look at all the people that still love you, all the rewards you still have in life, and there are emotional love successes to be had there. Now what they show next is my devil card on an invert. So usually this is like a good devil, because this is like the breaking free from something, from shackles, something that had a hold on you that you didn't necessarily like a habit. And for some of you, this is love related, so this could be letting go of a person. This could be letting go of just about anything else too. It's basically like the devil card, it shows in this card and in many other decks as well, like being handcuffed to something. And that's like what a bad habit does. If you're addicted to smoking, for example, it's just part of what you do, whether you like it or not. It's like you got to do it because you're addicted. So that's what the handcuffing shows. And in the devil inverted, it's basically showing the freedom, the breaking free from these shackles, and breaking free from something or someone or a situation in the love corner. The next thing they show here is the moon card. So it's showing an environment here that is very weird. The circumstances in the situation is just fuzzy. Maybe you're a little unsure, or it's just weird in general. It doesn't make sense. Why did things unfold this way? I don't really get it. Why did he leave me for somebody else? Why did my mom have to go? Why did somebody have to get cancer? These kind of things is kind of it doesn't really make sense, and it's okay that it doesn't make sense. You don't have to understand everything as it goes. What you have to do here is find a way to look behind it, look at the good things that are still there as you overcome these difficulties. And that's what they gave us in the Angel Oracle card. The worst is now behind you, and you're surmounting the previous challenges. So, there is still something to be faced here. I don't want to say, just turn away from the problem and look behind you at the rewards, like leave the problem alone. There's something still to be surmounted here. There's some work that still needs to be done, but overall, you're overcoming difficulties. The worst is behind you, so you just got to kind of clean up the rest is what it really talks about here. So you guys can do it. You have the strength to do that, and hopefully I've given you enough context here that you can put some good parts into play here in your life. Number 2. That was a heavy one to start with. Number 2, this is a very different story. We start, first of all, with the energetic definition of my Queen of Cups, which is basically saying, hey, a lot of my Aquariuses really need to nurture the love corner here. You need to put more energy into the family, or maybe with a specific family member here, siblings, mom, dad. Maybe you are the mom and dad, daughter, son, niece, nephew. There's just, they're calling for the energy right here. The attention and the focus, the awareness needs to be put on the family corner here in your love situation. Hey, you know what? Let's say you're single and your family is good, and they're not referring to that here. This could be more of like, you really need to get serious about, meeting somebody. If that's something you really want, this is the time to get serious about it, because they're showing you're not really nurturing that love corner. So there's something here in that corner that you're not doing, and they want you to be doing more of it. Now, they specifically talk about another person here. And when this card comes up, it usually means a very close family member. So it feels less, as we move on into the story, it feels less about dating and it feels more about just your family unit. And what they talk about here is just, this is probably an individual, one person that you should spend more time with. Hey, you know what? I haven't seen my sister in a long time. Maybe you should go do that. Go have lunch, do a Zoom call if you're far away. Go meet up for a vacation somewhere in between. Something like that, and is what they bring up. So just something to keep in mind. Siblings or somebody very, very close to your heart is who they talk about. Now, there is an element here of leaving something completely behind. So this is an emotional, this whole story is love related. And we know that because it's a love reading, but it's also, if you go back to look at my overhead view, every card here is cups. And cups is the card of the heart strings, heart pulls. And here they talk about leaving something behind and not letting, and basically moving on. And they show here a huge hesitancy here in story 2. So a lot of my Aquariuses are having a hard time moving on with something, whether it's forgiving, whether it's forgetting, whether it's moving on from an ex, somebody in your past that you were very attached to, or whether it's moving on from losing a family member, losing a pet, something like that. And you're really kind of still in the moment, where Spirit is saying, hey, you gotta get to the next phase here. We have more life to live. We gotta get to the next phase of what you're trying to do with your love corner. Hey, you know what? You can't be playing victim mode forever. Like, yeah, you maybe had some hard times, hard experiences, maybe ran into some bad people. And you know what? That's never fun to do. But you know what? You still got the rest of your life to live. And you don't want to be hung up on the past. You don't want your past to be affecting your future. And that's what they show here with claircognizance coming in here too. They want you to pay attention to your thoughts and ideas that come to you as they are answered prayers. So you're going to be getting some inspiration, some light bulb effects going on that you just thought of something out of the blue that, well, that's interesting. Where'd that come from? Let's say you're single and you're trying to get over an ex, right? Well, you might just get a thought, well, maybe I should go check out this site, or maybe I should go to this singles meet. They go bowling, or they do different fun things, something like that. So there's a lot of different ways this can be, but this is basically ideas that are popping up out of nowhere. I know we kind of talked about a whole bunch of things in that story, from romantic to family. It's in a general reading, these are very tough to do. Thankfully, Spirit breaks the stories down into 3 segments for it, makes it a little easier for me. But that's what, a general reading has its limitations, and this is pretty much what those are at this moment. That's why I prefer personal private readings, of course. But that wraps up story 2. Before we get into your big one here in story 3, I do want to tell you about the gemstone, the brand new thing in the store, and also those huge moon cycles, because February has a bunch of big ones. Okay guys, cutting in, here we go with some moon cycle forecast time. We have a huge lunar event going on in February. This is the third, the trifecta. It started in December, January, and now here we are in February. We get the third huge super new moon, but let's talk about that full moon first, because that comes in first. It is a micro full moon, which means it's very small in the sky, but you can still use this energy to get anything out of your life that you don't want there anymore, whether it's a person, whether it's something to do with work or a project you just got to wrap up and get out, anything you need to sell or repurpose or even donate, all that stuff much better placed early in February under that full moon. Adversely, we have that huge new super new moon, that brand new moon coming in on February the 20th, and this is the greatest opportunity for a while, guys, until August, to bringing in new things into your life. And it doesn't matter what you're trying to manifest, what you're trying to attract, the universe does not care. This could be new love you're trying to bring in, you're trying to do something brand new with health. Let's say you're trying to do something new with work, get a new job, get a new promotion, or anything in between. Like I said, the universe does not care. Using that manifestation power, though, it's going to be very, very strong. Middle of the month, moving toward late into February. February 20 is the key date there, but any time really bracketing around that is key for that. It's any kind of manifestation stuff, guys. You can really attract powerfully right now, and it's the best time to do it because, like I said, we don't get any big lunar activity until August, so this is kind of the last chance for the last dance. Here we go. So moon cycles are a big deal, and if any of this has confused you, or maybe you prefer just a little graphic aid, a little illustration, I put together a moon cycle cheat sheet, and it is always on my website, and it is always free. I have moved what page it's on, though. I'm now doing a page about stuff that I'm talking about page. So things that we're talking about, that's where you can find it, parked at the very top. That is your moon cycle forecast cheat sheet. Got to tell you about new things coming into the shop, too. Make sure you're signed up for the newsletter, because my newsletter people get a couple free things every single year just by being signed up for it. I do giveaways on Facebook, and we want to follow both of those for sure. But let's talk about that new product in the shop. Every month, I unveil a brand new product into the Scott Sagent shop on the website, and this is the month that we are doing another gemstone, and it's going to be tree agate. And this is a wonderful gemstone for February because it brings and attracts love into all of the chakras. It's not just one or two of them. It can bring it into all of them at the same time. very calm stone too. It works very slowly, but its lasting effects are long. It's basically doing the turtle energy. Slow and steady wins the race, and therefore it is not a strong vibration stone. It is very easy to work with, very calm, very mellow. Even if you've never had a gemstone before or don't work with gemstones, tree agate is a wonderful one for you. And I just love the green and the white, to the fact where I'm showing you pictures here on the screen. I really am giving you two different lighting options here just so you can see it under different lighting, because it is very beautiful. I love how the green and the white swirls together. It reminds me when I'm in an airplane looking down on Mother Earth, the green and the trees, fade into just colors eventually, and the green and the white together. Actually, the more green the gemstone is, the more strong it is, and the more white the tree agate is, kind of the more mellow energy it is. So those are both available on the website. Well, I say both because it's available in small and in large. So we got two different sizes of tree agates available now. We got giveaways going on at the same time. We're still giving away the Charm gemstone, and that is a random one, but that I'm flashing a picture of that on the screen too. That comes with every purchase of tree agate, or even the tiger's eye from last month. Any gemstone purchase comes with that, and also a little nylon case. You get to choose the color of that. So great stuff on the website every single month. New things, guys. So let's get back to your reading right now. Okay, Aquarius, I'm back with story number three, that love story, and I'm telling you, they are hitting you guys hard this month. They're hitting you hard, and they are doing it because you can handle it, and that's otherwise they wouldn't do that to you. But what they're saying here in story 3 is that the reason there's no action going on with what you're trying to do, or what you're trying to fix, or what you're trying to improve in the love corner is because you haven't learned these lessons. Spirit's actually saying you have learned the lessons. You just haven't utilized the lessons, if that makes sense. So if we're comparing it to like school, you've taken the class, you've studied the material, you know the homework, you did the homework, you passed the exam, but then you haven't used any little bit of that information in the real world. And that's what Spirit is saying here, is that the reason there's no action is because these lessons that you've learned haven't been used. It's like you know better, or you know what doesn't work for you. And that is just important as knowing what works for you, because if you know what doesn't work for you, you can just avoid it. Let's say, for example, you don't like going out to meet people in the bar. It's never worked out good for you, bad experiences or whatever. Well, you got to do something different, right? You know not to do that, and then you know what you need to do instead is to find a different alternative. In this case, they say lessons, learning from your lessons. Now, then they show inaction there, but now they show action next with when you move forward, you're not going to know everything about somebody. And that's important too. This really feels like my singles, very much my singles story for a lot of my Aquariuses here. And it makes me feel like you're the kind of person that really likes to know every little thing. And of course, information is a good thing. We all can make the best choices possible when we have a full palette of information versus not knowing anything. But they're basically saying here, you're just going to have to be a little bit vulnerable. You're not going to know everything about a person when you first meet them. It's a process. You got to go through it. And of course, you got to pay attention to red flags and all that stuff too, but you don't want to be, creating problems where there aren't any. It's that saying that James Hampton and says a lot in my programs on our podcast there. It's, don't let perfect be the enemy of good. And in that same way, perfection is a tough thing. It really doesn't exist in a lot of ways. So don't be too picky. Don't be too perfectionistic here. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. You don't want to let something good be ruined because you're just nitpicking it too much, okay? Or because you just don't know all the information. So Spirit is going to present this information to you later. It's basically saying you're driving a little blind here, and that's okay. That's what the word faith means. It's, having faith of an outcome, even though you don't see the outcome. It's, knowing and feeling and, believing very devotedly that it's going to work out. They also tell you to be courageous here, so that you can kind of see the theme. They're telling a story here, and they end with courage. So they want you to be brave. They want you to be bold. This is my lioness energy here. It basically says, be courageous, stand up for yourself and your beliefs. So also while you're doing this, don't take any crap from other people. You have to defend yourself. You have to defend your stance, and that's part of being courageous, is being bold, putting yourself out there, expressing yourself freely, and not be willing to change for other people. You're probably just fine the way you are. If other people either like it or they don't. They don't need to change you, but at the same time, you don't need to change them either. So a lot of very important stuff there in story 3, guys. Let's get into your rune stone. And that's going to wrap up what has been a very interesting reading for the love corner here. Like I said, we did a work one for you guys last time, so they're like, yeah, well, work's done. Now let's get into some love stuff. So the rune stone for Aquarius. Gonna be this guy right here. This is the rune stone of journey. Journey. So we have a brand new opportunity happening in the month of February, that love month of Valentine's Day. So what new journey are you trying to do with your love situation, with your family, or maybe your single love life? You know, are you trying to change that? Or are you happy the way things are? Well, they're presenting this as a journey. So this is like, you know what? This is a launch point here for a lot of my Aquariuses. You can make this into whatever you want it to be. You know, like I said, maybe some of you like being single. Maybe some of you want to change it. Well, this is the month where they talk about journey. So it doesn't mean that you're going to arrive at the destination in February. You know, don't be expecting to meet the love of your life. Don't be expecting your family situation to resolve and be like perfect, you know, rainbows and bubblegum in the month of February. It's not about that. This is about the journey. This is about the process. And you have to take the steps. It's steps, you know. There are steps to everything. Nobody gets, when they're a baby, nobody starts running. You know, you have to crawl. Then you have to walk. You got to trip and fall a few times in the process. So journey, guys, be a little patient with the journey. It's a process. You guys are doing just fine and you will get there. So that is it, guys. That is concluding what has been a very good reading. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future videos, and have a great February.